When many people think of being a videographer or a filmmaker, they think big, expensive cinema cameras and tons of equipment. But in reality, you don't need that much equipment to begin paid client work, and you certainly don't need terribly expensive equipment. Here are the 5 pieces of equipment that I think are necessary to begin paid client work, and I'll also give specific examples of budget-friendly options of each item. A camera. Obviously, you will need a camera unless you're doing social media specific vertical video where you might get away with a smartphone. You will likely need a mirrorless camera. And without spending countless hours debating which brand or specific model to get, there are 2 key considerations to keep in mind when buying your first camera. First, get a camera that can shoot in 4K resolution. More expensive cameras can shoot at 4K at higher frame rates, which is nice, but not a requirement to get started. And second, get a camera that uses interchangeable lenses. This allows you to grow and upgrade over time. One caveat, however, is that it's usually helpful to have at least 2 cameras for a lot of paid client projects. For things like sit-down interviews and weddings, you usually want to have multiple camera angles rolling at the same time. So keep this in mind when starting out. It may actually serve you better to have 2 lower-end cameras than 1 higher-end camera. I personally love Sony cameras, and great options for under $1,800 are the FX30, A7C, and A7 III. This is actually a ZV-E10, which comes in at just $700, and I've actually used it for paid client work. Lenses. Now that you have a camera, you need a lens to get a great image. There are 2 main types of lenses: zoom lenses and prime lenses. Zoom lenses have the ability to zoom in from one focal length to another, whereas prime lenses are at one fixed focal length. There are advantages and disadvantages to both, and there are a ton of videos on YouTube explaining when you'd want to use one versus the other. But for this video, to begin paid client work, I recommend a zoom lens that goes from about 24mm to about 70mm, which is actually what this video is being filmed with right now. Even if you bought 20 lenses, this is likely to be your workhorse lens that stays on your camera most of the time. It's very versatile and provides a lot of bang for the buck. You can use it for things like interviews, weddings, and even sporting events. A great option here is the Tamron 28-75, which is what you're looking at right now, which currently comes in at $800. A microphone. The old cliche is that 50% of video is audio, and while people might watch a video with poor image quality, nobody's watching a video with bad audio quality. To do any paid client work, you're likely to need a shotgun microphone and/or a wireless lavalier microphone. Mics in both of these categories can vary wildly in price, but both do have reasonably priced options. The shotgun mic is either mounted to the camera or boomed overhead out of the shot, while a lavalier microphone is fastened to the speaker either in view or hidden from view. These microphones serve very different purposes, and unless you only do one specific type of client work, I do recommend having both. Budget-friendly options are the Rode VideoMic Go 2 shotgun microphone for $100, which is what you're listening to right now, as well as the Rode Wireless Go 2 for the lavalier system, which comes in at $300. A tripod. A tripod is a must so you can get stable video footage, and keep in mind that you should have as many tripods as you do cameras. Many people are surprised to learn that a tripod can actually cost thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, to get started, you don't need to go anywhere near that high, but I do recommend investing in a video tripod with a fluid head, and these are much different than the cheapo tripods you'll find at a local store. A video tripod will give you peace of mind that your camera is safe and secure. It'll also give you the ability to do smooth pans and tilts, which are literally impossible to do with a cheap tripod. I really like the fluid head tripod from SmallRig, which comes in at $150. And for a second camera, you can get something cheaper yet sturdy from Amazon for around $75. Editing software. Once you shoot the footage, you then have to edit it into a finished product. While you can get started with something like iMovie, for most paid client projects, you're going to want one of the big 3 editing programs. That's Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and DaVinci Resolve. These programs let you do professional level editing that a paying client is likely to expect. DaVinci Resolve is actually free. Final Cut Pro is a one-time payment of $300, and Premiere Pro is a monthly subscription of $21. I personally am a Final Cut Pro user, but there are times I wish I used Premiere Pro because it's a bit more of a gold standard amongst professional video editors. This gives us a starting budget of about $3,500. Now, while that is certainly an appreciable amount of money, keep in mind that you should be able to make that back fairly quickly with just a few paying jobs. At that point, you can assess what other pieces of equipment might be necessary for your specific needs and to level up the types of videos that you are creating. You can click here for other videos from the channel on product reviews and editing tutorials, and if you got value from this video, please like and subscribe for future content.